Hi everybody, and welcome to the Stamperia Blue Dream mini album tutorial series designed for Scrap and Create. In this video, we're going to begin building page 6 of the album, starting with the front and then moving on to the back side. I have page 6 in front of me, and I'm going to make another acetate envelope just like we did with page 3 for page 6. So I'm going to follow that same process. So if you remember correctly, I have my pages together. I'm using my paper trimmer. I'm going to 1 1/4 inch. I'm coming down at 1 1/4 inch. And then I'm going to go to 7 inches. Going to flip my page, lining it up at 1 1/4 inch, going down to 7 inches, again cutting on the next side at 1 1/4 to 7, and then on the final side 1 1/4 to 7 inches. Removing those pieces, and I now have my page. I'm going to mark this page 6 front, page 6 back. Then I'm going to cut one piece of cardstock to 1 3/4 by 8 1/4. On the 1 3/4 inch side, I need to score this at 1/2 inch on the top. So this is going to be the top closure flap, just like on the first one of these that we made. Take that piece, fold over on the score line. And then use your scissors to go from that score line, mitering those corners on that tab in slightly, because that will make it easier to place on the page. And then we're going to cut 2 pieces of acetate to 6 1/4 inches by 6 1/4 inches. Next, I need to take my 1/4 inch double-sided tape, place it all around both sides along the frame, just so that it is next to the cutout part here, because my 6 1/4 inch piece is going to fit perfectly on there, and I don't want any of that tape to be exposed so that anything in this pocket doesn't get stuck to it. Next, I'm going to remove the corners on the backing tape, and then I will apply my acetate sheets to each of my pieces. Now I'm going to repeat with the other side and do the same thing. The last thing to do is to put that top on, so making sure that I have this in the correct orientation. The hinge is going to be over here. This is the front, this is the back. This is going to be glued to the back of this part here. So I'm going to add my adhesive to my 1/2 inch tab. And then I'm going to line this up so that the score line is at the top edge of the page. I'm going to close this flap and make sure everything closes. And if it doesn't, I'm going to pull up a little bit so that I have enough room for this to fold over. And then I will burnish this down. So now we have our little closure flap, and our pocket will be sealed shut whenever we put this into our album. So that's it for the build for page 6. Pretty simple and pretty basic, but everything will get added once we start decorating. At this point, we've finished building all of the bases of the pages for the album. So in the next video, we're going to begin decorating the pages using the Stamperia Blue Dream papers. If you haven't picked up your papers yet, don't forget to go into the description box below where all of the papers are linked to the Scrap and Create website, where you can go ahead and check all of those out. Don't forget to stay tuned for the next part of the tutorial.